So once again, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living this morning. Are we working? Hello, testing. There we are. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Each and every one of you. Absolutely a magnificent expression of the Divine Spirit, for which I am truly grateful that you have chosen to be with us today at this time and this place. My topic for today, out of the 365 Days for Richer Living by Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker, had a statement in the reading or the affirmation that talked about living life with a punch, with enthusiasm, and with fun, and with joy. And this morning when I came in, I was like astounded, because I think it was the first time I've ever seen where everybody came in and sat down before service in a nice, orderly fashion. And I was like, well, where's the punch and the enthusiasm and the joy? With that, usually I can't get you to get you into your seats. But today you were so orderly and so fashionable. It was just incredible. So I had to throw that talk out and come up with something different. And what I want to do is I want to go into a place of gratitude. I want to talk about the appreciation of what's going on here, of what's happening, because it's out of gratitude that I experience the joy and the punch of life and the vitality that shows up in my presence. Because gratitude is one of the principles that I absolutely believe in, and that we cannot do enough of. And it's also called giving thanks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so as we enter into this midway point of our Adventures in Prosperity in our annual pledge campaign, I want to say thank you for each and every one who has given of their time and their talent and their treasure for whatever period of time in which you've been on this journey in this center in supporting who we are and what we do. So as not to disturb him, I want to start out by giving thanks to Dean Warren. He's sitting in High Watch this morning. This is an opportunity where one of our practitioners will position themselves in some place in the sanctuary, and they will go into meditation, and they will hold the essence and the power and the presence of the divine for the greatest good, to be in the experience of whatever the event is. And so when they're doing that, I'm just absolutely filled with gratitude that there is someone in the room who has willingly taken up this stance to be in a place of divine mind, to be in that consciousness that everything is being brought forth in the right and perfect way. So much so that they're giving of themselves where they don't get to watch what's going on, and for the most part they're not even listening to the words that are being said, because they're in a place of this just absolute divine consciousness. So Dean is just one of the examples of the power that our practitioners are bringing forth into our center, into what we do. And so I want to acknowledge Reverend Beverly and Reverend Doug as ministers in our center, who are representative of that spiritual leadership that holds the consciousness of who we are. And if you haven't had an opportunity to get to know either one of them, I encourage you to do so. Reverend Beverly is the heart and the soul of this center. She was here holding the space, holding the consciousness, while the center was candidating for who was going to be the next senior minister. So I know and I appreciate the fact that she held that space open until I was selected and I arrived and I stepped into this opportunity. And how gracious of her to be there and holding that space, knowing that somebody else was going to come in and probably turn things upside down, which is what I did a couple of times, because that's what I do. But the love that she held during that time is undescribable. And then most recently, Reverend Doug showed up. For God knows why. But he did. He showed up and he said, I just want to be a part of your center. I want to learn from you. I want to engage in this community. Because he just got licensed as a minister. And he wants to, bring in whatever he can out of this experience in order for him to be that magnificent and more glorious minister that is his journey to be. And they are supported and surrounded by all of the practitioners that are here. The practitioners who have gone through the study and the experience and the journey and the struggle and the strife and whatever else that it looks like in order to move through, and that's what the punch is, to move through the challenges and the barriers in order that they could stand forth to be the model, to be the example, not to be better than anybody else, but to be the example of what each and every one of us can be when we step into spirituality, into the consciousness. And we are so blessed with the practitioners that we have here. Virginia Cummings is a practitioner emeritus. That means she's been a practitioner longer than most of us have been around. And she brings the wisdom and the grace and the truth of who she is, sharing that with us. She didn't want me to say that, but I did. Yeah. Ricky shows up because he's our joy. He's the laughter and the excitement and the thrill that comes along with that. Robert is with us because Robert is the intellect, the intelligence, the one that's studying to be a minister, that wants to, take us to that level of understanding and clarity. Patricia is that minister that, again, has been here for some time and has held the space, has held the consciousness of who we are. And she keeps demonstrating in her life what it means to practice these principles, to bring forth the abundance in her life, to bring forth the husband that she so desired, to bring forth all of the joy that she wanted. And Roberta is another practitioner who just wants to be here because she likes the idea that she can call herself my favorite. She has spent more time in class with me than anybody else has. For what reason, I'm not sure, but she just loves being in class with me. But she's another one who has that understanding of what it means to go through the journey, to go through the experience in order to come through the other side to be that greater example. And she's available to each and every one of you by simply just approaching her or any of the practitioners and saying, would you pray with me? Would you be with me? And then we have our probably our most recent practitioners who actually studied at the Riverside Church and then through circumstances, I guess, moved to the desert and looked us up and decided they wanted to be here. So we have Tim and Kim who have joined us that bring forth this idea of what it means to just be. this is what I'm learning from them in the short period of time that they've